Welcome to Expedition Networking, a special segment of the Networking RX podcast. I'm Frank Agan, founder and president of AmSpirit Business Connections, and your host for this program. For those of you who are familiar, on the Networking RX podcast, we share information and have conversations with experts, such as authors, researchers, and social scientists. And all of these programs are aimed at helping you learn how to become better at building professional relationships and understanding why they work. In this Expedition Networking segment, however, we're going to bring on successful entrepreneurs and unique professionals and explore their networking adventure and learn how they used relationships to create lasting success. Welcome to Expedition Networking. Today on the program, I have Marlies Vaher. Marlies is in Tallinn, Estonia. I was walking with my wife this morning. I told her I had this interview, and I said it was with a young woman from Estonia, a businesswoman, professional. And she says, "Where's Estonia?" I have no idea. Estonia is way up. It's on the Gulf of Finland, so it's near Scandinavian countries. And Marlies and I were introduced. I was introduced to a marketing mastermind that she does on a monthly basis, and we'll get information out about that. But I wanted to get her on and just have a conversation about just business. We assume business is done the same everywhere. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But she's been around Europe, and she grew up in when she was a teenager. Estonia was part of the Soviet Union. So she has seen a lot in her life. So Marlies, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Frank. It's great to be here.
So I guess give me some background. You grew up in Estonia. Did you grow up in Tallinn?
Yes, I did. I grew up in Tallinn, so I've been lived nearby pretty much all my life. But a few years ago, it's 2018, when I decided that I should experience, living somewhere else as well. And if you don't know, then Estonia isn't a very warm country. We are up in the north. It's very dark here. Most time of the year, there's no sun, pretty much. And I moved to Spain with my two kids, with my husband, and also my cat and a turtle. So it was kind of crazy what we did, but it was amazing, to experience. So yeah, but of course, now we are back because of the COVID, pretty much. So yeah, I've traveled a lot, but I've never lived somewhere else but Thailand and Spain.
Okay. Now you have this international marketing and mindset company, or you're a coach, and you have clients from all over the world. I've been on your marketing call, the Powerful Marketing Mastermind. Is that correct, right?
Powerful Mastermind Club.
Okay, there you go. And I was surprised when I came into it because there's a lot of people from the United States. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but there are, I met people in there from all over. And I don't know what I was expecting, I guess, but you are well connected. So I guess when you went to Spain, I guess what prompted that? Did you know people there, or you just kind of, hey, we're going?
It was kind of, hey, we are going, because to be honest, we went slowly because of the weather, because it might be really, really dark here in Estonia, and sometimes, in the summertime, let's say 1 or 2 months, you have those warmer days here. But yeah, we just went there because one of my friends actually lived there already back then. And, she was the one who kind of showed me around and introduced me with, let's say, some bureaucracy there, how to onboard your children to the school and those things, right? So she helped me there locally. But otherwise, business-wise, we had like zero connections there. And we had built 2 businesses here in Estonia. And we thought with a husband that why not, to take this chance and to live somewhere else for a while, to really to give our children this opportunity to see the world, to learn new language, new culture, also ourselves, of course. So it was very hard, to be honest, first, because we didn't know anybody. But back then, there were no COVID. So I started to look for those networking clubs locally, right? And, Malaga is quite a big city, and there are many English-speaking business owners. So I was lucky enough, I found those communities, and I started to visit those. And I would say it took a year at least to actually, understand how things are working there, and how the business is done there, and to understand the culture and everything. So it was amazing, experience really.
Now, Estonia, is that part of the EU?
Yes.
Okay, and Spain is as well, obviously. So that probably made it a little bit easier. Were there certain people that just kind of took you under their wing? Like, I'm just going to help you because.
Yes, because they are very kind of old people, I would say. But also, I found this business coach who had lived in England himself for 10 years. So he understood very well, the let's say the culture in the UK and the business culture. So he helped me a lot there, to be honest.
Okay. Did you have your coaching business before then? So you just continued. It wasn't like you just left your business behind. You just.
Yes, it was, Frank. That's what we did.
Oh,
and
okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
And our families were like, they were shocked because they told me, oh my God, you have this midlife crisis or something. I said, okay, if I have it, I like it, because I'm in Spain. It's a sunny place and people are nice. So yeah, we were earlier, my husband ran a business, the merchandise business, all about the advertising gifts and everything you can imagine, you can put your logo on, right? And he was tired of that because he had run this for 20 years. And the business went very well because it has grown, a lot. And we were actually looking for ways to exit that business, right? And I don't know, it just felt right back then. And yeah, we just took our, our children and our pets, and we just went there.
Oh wow!
Of course, the preparation and everything took 9 months altogether because of the bureaucracy. If you want to change the schools and you need to find a living there, and even if you want to make a bank account in Spain, it is not as easy as it sounds. It might take you a month. So every country has its own, bureaucracy. So, and let's be honest, nobody is waiting for you there. Just come here and all the papers are here and sign it and you're done, right? It takes time. So we were lucky to have this very, very good housekeepers, who were also helping us a lot because we didn't know a language as well very well. Of course, we started to study some Spanish, but still it wasn't enough to go and have those discussions, I don't know, in the school or something, because people in Spain doesn't speak English as much as we expect even today.
Right. Yeah.
So, but of course it was, as you said, or as I said, it sounded crazy back then what we did, but we thought with a husband that, when we are in our 40s, it's doable. I'm 40, my husband is 45 today. But, when you're like 60 or 70, maybe you are not so much doing those things anymore. And we just wanted to have this experience. And I'm very glad we did it because, when we were living there and also trying to build our new business, the coaching business we are doing right now, it was it became very clear to me that it doesn't really matter, where you are, because people are still the people. We are same human beings. We have, we all have our dreams, our wishes, our obstacles, our, everyday worries and joys. And so it became real to me that, wow, people are, the same everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, before we hit record, we were talking about our kids and how kids just drive you crazy. I mean, you love them, right? I mean, it's you wouldn't have it any other way, but we all have these aggravations about our kids. And that it really came home to me. I was interviewing a woman from India, and she happened to be in London. I don't know if you know Deva Priya, but she was in London. The timing just worked out better, and the internet was better when she was in London. But she was late to the call, and she was kind of exasperated. And she said, "Oh, my daughter won't wear a raincoat. It's rainy there, right? She won't wear a raincoat. She won't carry an umbrella. It just drives me crazy." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it just sounds like my life, And we expect that we're in different countries, that things are going to be different. And I even hear that in the United States. People will say, well, in our part of the United States, it doesn't work that way. Or we're different here. It's like, well, what do you mean you're different? The money is the same. Gravity is the same. Our DNA is the same. How could it be different? So let's go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to maybe add here that I also thought first that we are so different because of the, let's say, the everyday life, I don't know, the bureaucracy, and maybe, I don't know, stores are different or something. But what I mean that we as human beings with our needs, we are still the same. So if you think of, I don't know, the hierarchy of Maslow, the pyramid, right? Yep. We are all there with the same needs. So for me, that's very clear.
Yeah, no, I mean, it should be common sense, but somehow or another, and that's the nice thing about COVID. I hate saying it like that, but the nice thing about this whole lockdown is it's really allowed us the opportunity to get to know one another. And I hope we never go back. I mean, I will do things locally with people and go out and have a drink or pizza or whatever. But I want to keep the relationships with people around the world like you. And what it's taught me is that I really don't, what we might learn about people is not true, or it's not a true depiction of who they are, right? Growing up, I remember studying, we had a whole class on the Middle East, and it's a different culture, and it really seemed kind of weird and scary. And now I've met people from the Middle East, Israel, Turkey. They're just people. They're just people. They may have different food tastes. You probably have McDonald's. You have McDonald's?
Yes, we have.
Everybody's got McDonald's. But people have different food tastes, it's just things like that. But really, we're all kind of the same. And I think that's, when you go ahead.
I'm sorry. Of course, there is like culture and, all the background and people around us. Of course, all this really affects us. But when it comes to, human needs and the things we get joy from, and we are still the same. And I believe 100% that people are working with people, not with companies. So at least this has been my experience. I've worked also in northern part of Europe, and again, people, they value the same, let's say, things in relationships, right? You need to be authentic. You need to be there. You need to be transparent, honest. All of this is there, and it doesn't matter either you're on north or south. So, and I believe same goes with the states. Of course, there are some bureaucracy or some cultural things, or you have a different weather in different states.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes down to, let's say, the real things, then we are all on the same page with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, our kids are the same. You fall in love the same. All the, it's,
It is.
people always say, well, what's the internet do? What's LinkedIn going to do to networking? And I'm like, nothing. We still have relationships. Last I checked, babies came from the same place, right? I mean, those things don't change, and those are the fundamental things.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it shouldn't be shocking that there's so many similarities, but it's kind of fascinating to hear. Let's shift gears here. I want to talk about your business, talk about you, what you do, your coaching. I want to talk about the mastermind. People listening, come into your mastermind. Second Tuesday of every month.
Wow, thank you. You remember very well.
Well, it's on my calendar.
I appreciate that.
I can't always make it, but it's on my calendar. And when I'm able to make it, I will make it. And I'm trying to think of the time. It's
9:30 Central Time, a.m. 9:30 a.m.
Okay. I'm Eastern time. So, so anyhow, talk about your business. What do you do? Who do you work with? How could people listening help you?
Well, thank you. I build bridges between, small business owners and marketing, because too often, we don't know what to do with our marketing, and especially small business owners I have seen are frustrated about marketing or about marketers, because they are doing different things, but they don't see results, and it's not aligned with their sales, and they are very frustrated about it. And where it all came, well, I've been 20 years in sales and marketing myself. Since 2008, I started as an entrepreneur, so I understand this side of this as well. I'm not only a marketer, right? And I also have studied psychology a lot. And I kind of put it all together, since we had this opportunity and freedom to move to Spain back then, and I decided to combine, all the experiences I have to help those small business owners, because this is what I've done pretty much all my life. And it all started with when I was asked back 2015, this director from the Institute of Marketing in Estonia asked me to teach the students there. And one thing is that you do something yourself, inside your business, but the other thing is when you need to teach, you need to have framework, to teach to others, because it's hard to teach otherwise, right? So when I started to build this framework and started to teach those marketers there, I saw there is this gap. There are marketers I'm teaching, and there are business owners I'm working with inside my business, and they are not aligned.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is that marketers are frustrated because they are working way too much, and they feel like nobody's appreciating me inside my business. I'm doing, all of those great things inside marketing. At the same time, business owner is frustrated because they tell me that I don't understand what they're doing. They're doing those things, I don't know, sitting in Facebook or posting something on social media. I don't see, where's the bottom line?
Right.
Or I don't see it, the result. And so this is where I understood that I need to help them, to build this gap and to help them communicate and align them. And so, long story shorter, I tried to do that. I put together this framework where I combined psychology, sales, marketing, professional marketing skills, of course, included, together with communication and leadership skills. So in order to, the business name is Powerful Marketer, not the marketing, because in order to do great marketing, you as a person need to understand all of those, let's say, phases we go through. You need to understand sales, marketing, how to align them. You need to understand many things about communications because it requires internal, external communication, negotiations, networking, and also, the leadership skills are important because you need to understand how to really manage those different projects that are on the table at the same time. So you need to delegate and manage teams, and this is what I do. So today I'm following this framework. I have my video courses, and for those business owners who want to have some hands-on help, we provide coaching. But the bigger picture is to really help those small business owners with some with valuable information. So that's why I host my podcast. That's why we do Mastermind Club, because I really wish to connect those business owners all over the world, because too often we feel that we are alone, but we are not. Right? 99% of all the businesses in Europe and in the US are small businesses.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be a small business owner because you are wearing all of those hats. You need to know everything, right? Finances, sales, marketing. You have those administrative things you need to run. It's a lot. And I'm here just to inspire and connect and help those business owners.
Well, what I appreciate about you and what you're doing is that you are you're accessible through the mastermind, the Powerful Mastermind Club. I mean, people, this is the pitch for this, for those who are listening. People can come in and they can actually meet you. I mean, it's not small. It's not 2 or 3 people. There might be 20 or 30 people on the call, and there are people from all over. The time you've picked, there are really people from all over the United States, all over Europe, and you always have a topic that you guys will touch on that is relatable to everybody. One was on video, another one there are lots of different topics, and then you have breakouts and talk about things, but you're very much involved. And then you mentioned your podcast, which I have a note here to talk about as well, Powerful Marketing Tips Podcast, which I'm subscribed to. It's in my feed.
Thank you.
I don't listen to my own, right? By the time I'm done editing and doing everything, I don't want to hear myself ever again. So I don't listen to but I like listening to yours because it's short, little bite-sized things. And I'm trying to think of the one I listened to over the weekend. It was about Google Workspace, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the recent one that came out. I need to get better at how these things release and what I can listen to, but they're all really kind of short. So you can literally sit there and listen to 5 to 10 minutes of something. So.
Yeah, we combine them with expert interviews also.
Okay.
So those are a bit longer, around 30 or 40 minutes. But yeah, our goal with podcast is to give those actionable steps, because there is so much information out there. You can find it, all the videos and courses and webinars, and there are so many of them. But it's hard to take this, how to say, the essence of or the core, what is needed inside your business. So that's why I decided that why not, just give it out like those little bites, so it will be easier to digest.
Okay. What's a good way for people to get a hold of you? LinkedIn?
Well, I'm in LinkedIn, so I was just thinking that I think that's the best way, because I'm quite active there, and I'm answering my messages or everything myself. I don't use any system.
Okay. And can I put the link to the mastermind in the show notes? I assume that would be okay.
Of course. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, you never know. You never know. I really appreciate your time today. I know it's taken us a couple times to make this work. For whatever reason, I don't know, technology works one day and then other days it doesn't. But I do appreciate your time.
Well, thank you, Frank, for having me here. It was great to.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.